Wait, this just has... Yeah. I'm surprised that it doesn't take you to that main menu here, where you have the Ferrari spinning. I guess, yeah, okay, it takes you eventually there. But yeah, here let's let this load, and then on the options, put harder. So I wonder how hard it's gonna be. Because even if we have the supposedly fastest car, well, especially compared to all of the other ones, but yeah. I still don't know which car it is though. I've been seeing it and it kinda looks like a Porsche Boxster. So maybe it is a Porsche. So I haven't heard of a Porsche Devastator personally. But hey, you never know. Maybe there is a Porsche Devastator. Sounds very silly, but wouldn't be the first car to have a very silly name. Okay, so when I try the hardest difficulty off stream, and obviously I used the starting car, which was a lot slower, like it went at 240 maximum, I think. It was impossible to reach the first places, but yeah. But at the end of the day, the difficulty ends up being the same, because when you unlock a faster car, you obviously go faster. But if the CPU goes faster, it ends up canceling out. So basically the difficulties here are kind of like a cheap way of having replayability. So I understand that at the time this game released, usually you had to give games some replayability so they lasted something. But yeah, here the replayability is almost doing the same thing. Because aside from the color of the car, well, you also notice yourself going faster, and obviously you also need to react in time just as well. But yeah, it's kind of like at the end of the day, the difficulty of overtaking and keeping the lead are the same than in the previous difficulties, with the fastest car, obviously. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Could be worse. I mean, I like the feeling of going fast, at least. Well, going faster. Fast and faster. That's cool. I also need to investigate if these slowdowns are emulation based or not. I will need to. So how do you even investigate that? Because aside of some reviews that said that the Nintendo 64 port had frame rate issues, how will you even know? Well, I guess by watching other people play it on real hardware. But yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to tell of someone from the 90s what for them was bad frame rate. Because I mean, nowadays a lot of people will call bad frame rate anything that is below 60 frames per second. Which this game is. This game is below 60. So maybe that's what they meant, but I mean, it's the Nintendo 64. You cannot do miracles. You cannot do miracles unless you are F-Zero X. That game does miracles, indeed. That game is miraculous in itself. But yeah. Though apparently you are gonna unlock a new car here. The new car you unlock what will you even use it for? Because there is not any higher difficulty than this. So at that point, well, I mean, you can still use it normally, but it feels like you will be quite overpowered. Also, I think these champs here, that when I use the slowest car, I basically like crash in the middle of them, is precisely because of that, because it was a slower car. I wonder if the... No, never mind, it happens here too. That was pretty silly. How are you supposed to avoid that? I don't know. But that's exactly what I was talking about. But no, it happens even with the fastest car. So basically, that champ is just badly done. That's a shame. You see, it seems unavoidable. Because I was going the fastest I could possibly go. Well, at least with this car. I think there are other cars that might reach higher top speed, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making that up. I might be making it up. Well, it's fine. Alright. Well, at least the hardest difficulty is not gonna be so hard at this rate. It is gonna be quite free. Well, I shouldn't speak too soon, because what's gonna happen now is that the 2-lane places are gonna show up. Well, this won't be in the first one. So this one doesn't have traffic on 2 lanes. It's Redwood Forest, Death Valley, and Arizona, right? Those are the ones. I just made a gigantic tree fall. And I didn't even move an inch. Oh, that's interesting. I know why people use those expensive chainsaws. You can just buy a car and run over a tree and it falls that easily. That's pretty silly. Like, I know that happens for every other type of obstacle, but they should have at least made the trees an exception. Seeing a tree fall like that is very stupid. Well, it's fine. I mean, the game in itself is comical. Like, the traffic behavior is comical. The accidents are comical. The fact that you go from 250 kilometers per hour to 0 on the finish line is comical. I will say that the game is pretty comical. Fortunately, what isn't very comical is that I lost because of that accident. Well, it's comical in itself. As I say, the accidents are comical too. That was pretty bad. And it's ironic that I got the accidents on the section that wasn't a 2-lane. Like, you will expect that you will get an accident on the 2-lane, but no. Got an accident when the path started stretching out, getting well, becoming 4-lane, basically. So I don't know what's up with that specific corner, but I try to steer a lot and the game doesn't let me though. The way the steering works is also weird. So you can see here that I can steer a lot, but that's because I'm not using the brakes. The moment I start using the brakes or lifting the accelerator, suddenly the steering becomes very bad. Like, the car understeers. So I think the strategy is start steering when you're accelerating normally, and then brake as you are steering. At the same time, the result of that is what you just saw. That doesn't seem very fast at all, so I think the strat will have to be something else, but I don't know what. Okay, at least I can see the first place, but if I want to win, he probably needs to get into an accident. I mean not me. Me getting into an accident wouldn't allow me to win, god damn it. Seems that this is gonna be one of those. Well, it was already a problem in the previous run, but it seems that it's gonna be a big problem here too. The redwood forest. Seems that there is gonna be a lot of red, but the red is not. It's not natural from the wood. It's coming from the morons driving. It also seems like you can see the AI moving very erratically. Like they don't know what to do when there are multiple cars in front of them. It's a little bit weird the way the steering works. Like, at least it's something that is quite responsive, but it's still... like, the inner workings are still weird. There goes a tree. Well, but it's not the only weird thing. The way the collision works are also weird. How sometimes a very light tap is enough to make you spin, and other times a full crash is nothing. But yeah, the physics, I will say that, are quite a mystery. Very mysterious physics. Oof, almost got murdered. God murder, and yeah, unfortunately yet again. So there are essentially 3 laps, no, not 3 laps, 3 corners at the end. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But thankfully you can go back to the game with no problem. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah. Alright. At least the game doesn't reset for entering the options. Good to know. I don't know if it will reset if you change the difficulty and then you exit the options. I don't wanna test it though. I'd rather not test it. I guess I'm getting more used to the cornering, but pretty nice when you can use other cars to help you cornering. I think that the idea of blocking cars is not always the best. Like, this is not Ridge Racer, where blocking cars from, well, that come from behind usually always ends better for you. Here, that doesn't seem to happen. Sometimes it happens, but that's the thing, the physics are so weird that sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, so... with something like that, I don't think you can do much. I think it's better to not even risk it. Second place is way too close. Oh, never mind, it's not close anymore. Well, was about time then. Took a lot of attempts. I don't remember if in the previous runs the Redwood Forest took that many attempts, but here it did. Well, that means that the next filter will possibly be Death Valley, which is not this, right? No, this is Beverly Hills, okay. You know, it's the ones to look out for is Death Valley and Arizona. Those are the ones. Everything else, just play normally. Well, normally as normal as the game lets you. I think that's playing normally. But yeah, it's a very peculiar game indeed. Quite peculiar. See, that was a full speed crash against an upcoming car, and I didn't even flinch. Like, I tanked it. I took the hit to the face. Fortunately, the tunnel is where the race ends, so unless I can somehow reach the first place. Oh, okay. Wait, but there is still a second place very close. Damn it, dude. Well, and in the tunnel it's even harder to see. I won that. Well, see, that's playing normally. This is how you play this game normally. You crash against everything possible, and your opponents do it too. Yeah, that's just the normal gameplay, don't worry about it. Nothing weird about that, it's just, the game works that way, okay? Nothing to worry about. But yeah, as I said before, it's a comical game. It's supposed to be comical. So even the way you win is comical. Everything is comical. Everything is a comedy. I gotta admit, it is quite a silly game. But it's I think that it's the cool type of silly. Like, I'm pretty sure that if I could play the arcade port, it would be a lot better, but I cannot. It almost makes me want to, I mean, I will give up immediately, but it makes me want to try somehow developing an emulator for these arcade cabinets that make use of the video card. Obviously, I don't have the knowledge to do that. But like, if there were people that were able to code specific emulators for some arcade cabinets and make them work so well, unlike MAME, right? I feel like even if it's through a lot of investigation, it should be possible. It's just that the interest is not there for the people that usually do the emulators, which is the reason why you have to take the matter into your own hands, because no one else is gonna do it. Hey, that's so annoying. I mean, I will need to have engineering knowledge. I don't have engineering knowledge. Well, oh, here is the Death Valley, okay. Well, the Death Valley, there will be a lot of death. That's for sure. Yeah, Death Valley, indeed. It's called like that for a reason. You can already start seeing it. But yeah, I guess for now, just keep it cool. This is one of those tracks that getting the first place early is super important. Okay, I got it early. Hey, calm down. You weren't gonna crash. See? That one was closer, and I didn't hear you scream. Where is your enthusiasm? But you know, I will scream too. Well, Scream 2 and probably ruin my pants in the process if I needed to drive at this speed in this type of route with this type of traffic, right? Okay, that's bad, because now I'm not gonna overtake the train. Or will I? No, I can't. Well, I guess that counts as overtaking. What was supposed to happen there is that you go fast enough to go past the train without getting hit. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen simply because I got into an accident, though the second place was way worse than me. Clearly. Hey Kyle, how is it going? We are driving in the USA. Yeah, they stole my beer. It's okay, don't worry. It gives me better aerodynamics. In this game, aerodynamics, I don't think they matter too much if slipstream is not even a mechanic. Because, I mean, I still haven't confirmed it, because if I had to pay attention to the speed at the same time that I'm paying attention to the road, I will crash. But I really think this game has no slipstream, which is pretty weird because so many games at the time had slipstream. Like, this game is from 1994, I think. And I'm pretty sure Virtua Racing is a game that already is way older than this one. That one had slipstream. That was bad though, that was a bad accident. It's just getting unlucky that the guy I crashed against was, was very hell-bent into being in front of me, and unfortunately, well, that guy just died. I saw that car going through him, but yeah, he shouldn't be alive. But yeah, that was bad. And even with how bad it was still somehow a PB. But you know, it was because of that stupid accident. Yeah. It really feels that this might be one of those games. I played a lot of racing games, right? It feels like this is one of those racing games where luck is extremely important. Even more so than in a game like Mario Kart. Because you can say that in Mario Kart it's also important to get lucky that the CPU doesn't decide to use an annoying item on you or whatever, but in this game, the traffic, the way the physics work, so how you hit someone, like, you need to get lucky in so many ways to win. Well, I wouldn't say to win, because winning itself is not hard to do. The hard thing is not losing. I mean, I know that sounds like it doesn't make any sense, and I don't blame you. But like, on a natural stage, just going forward and overtaking your rivals is not hard. The hard part starts when... wait, this is Arizona. I just realized. But wait, this is not the hard track that I had in mind. I say that we needed to watch out for Arizona, but I think it wasn't Arizona. It was another one. But I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, there is one that is also a 2-lane track just like Death Valley, but not this one. Though that being said, this one is taking more attempts than Death Valley. So, ironically, you can say that this one is harder. Well, it isn't. But the point is that by empirical observation, this track is harder. than Dead Valley. Obviously, empirical observation doesn't mean shit. But yeah, this is technically harder. But yeah, I mean, I would have won on the first try if it wasn't because of that stoner ass accident I had. But at least, wow, and even with how big that truck was, I still hit it. I knew it was there, I tried to prepare for it and I still hit it. But at least I win this time. But that was... That took longer than expected. We are through Arizona now. The next one was Beverly Hills, right? Was it? Or am I being... No. Or is it? Which one is this? No, it's the Grand Canyon. No, I think Beverly Hills is the next one. Oh yeah. So I find it funny that the dialogues say, so this is Ed's, right? Like, yeah, no shit. Didn't you read the stage name? It is the Grand Canyon, indeed. That's how it works. Okay. We're back in track. That guy is not. Okay. It's as I say. Winning is not hard. It's not losing that is hard. And I feel like this is even different than when I was playing the easiest difficulty with the slowest car. When I was playing that, it felt like the opponent that was behind me was going always at the same speed that I was going, or even faster sometimes. But here this time, it feels like they cannot even catch me. I guess this one is just especially faster. Wait, is my memory so shit that we might have already played in Beverly Hills? No, it can be, right? But I mean, no, my memory can be that shit, yes. Oh no, I think it was... Okay, Iowa is the one that was a 2-lane. Was a 2-lane and... That was close. And with very weird... corners. It looks like a roller coaster even. A very nice roller coaster. Okay. That was something. That's probably one of the luckiest traffic overtakes I did today. The physics of this game are not forgiving. Like, even if you barely touch someone, whether that someone is traffic or an opponent, you will crash very badly. So right there, I don't know how I did to go exactly in the middle of two traffic cars. It's like, that was a miracle of the universe. Just like the stars that you're seeing here, is like the stars just line up perfectly for that to happen. Alright. Is this the one? No, it is Chicago. Okay, so maybe we already did Beverly Hills and my memory is just dog shit. Well, good to know. Also, I like how they show Chicago as the contamination city. Well, I think Chicago has that reputation, right? That is one of those cities that is very dirty. Because here, those factories seem to not speak too well of Chicago. I don't know though. I don't know how Chicago ranks in the ranking of cities in the USA. The only thing I know when it comes to what people generally consider bad cities in the USA. Wow, what the hell? Are you... Bro, I cannot... Well, everyone had been involved in the same accident, at least. Damn, this is terrible. Chicago, I think, has a traffic problem. And everything is... Look at this guy. Alright. Chicago never again. I somehow won that. Obviously not with a PV. Pretty sure that my PV is like 10 seconds faster. Exactly 10 seconds. Well, 10 seconds and 50 hundredths of a second. So not quite, but close enough. Alright, so what was I gonna say? No, that I think that from what I heard, what people consider one of the worst cities in the USA is Detroit. But I don't know. It also depends on what's your metric for worst. If it's the crime, if it's the job opportunities, if it's whatever. But from what I heard, Detroit is like one of the most dangerous cities in the USA. And I don't know if Chicago is also like that. Can't have shit in Detroit. Yeah, that's what I always hear. That Detroit is like, it's very similar. The way some people describe it remind me to the average Latin American city. Like basically, the fact that you cannot even go outside without, you know, making very sure that all of your belongings are very, you know, are with you at all times, right? Like that sort of stuff. Like it's a city where it's a no man's land. And yeah, that's pretty much how Latin American cities are. Wow, I just killed that poor guy without a shirt. But that's what he gets for being shirtless. You should have covered those little things. Come on, bro. The girls have the decency to do that. Why don't you do? Okay, that's fine. Now that I play this game, you know that there are a lot of, well, I don't know if I should say a lot, but there is quite some Cruis'n games, right? So you have, after this game, there is a Cruis'n World game that apparently you go around the world. Then another one that is called Cruis'n Exotic, which I'm assuming you go through exotic cities. So I don't know what they will consider exotic. But yeah. And then there is more after that, even a Game Boy Advance game. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that I'm interested in playing them. Wanna play them and see how it goes. This one, the only problem that it has is the performance, but as I say, I still don't know if it's an emulator problem or if the original port was also like that. Aside from that though, this is the type of game I like. Basically a game that is pure racing. And even better because it's pure racing but you also have traffic. So it's like you're playing Outrun and like a race at the same time. Well, I guess, yeah, that already exists with Burnout. And I guess Need for Speed too. Yeah, those games didn't release when this game released. What? What? What are you saying what for? What do you mean by what? Funny when someone says what and you have no idea what they are asking. So at that point it becomes a what battle. The what battle. It becomes a drunkard's conversation basically. Okay, this track is still hard regardless. On my previous run, this track actually took a while to beat. But then again, I got very lucky there that these guys got into an accident. And so did I. No, it's fine. They are still far enough. Here comes the legendary dollar tunnel. And then there is like a couple more corners until the finish line. In fact, literally one more corner here, and that's it. There you go. Well, there you have it. That's the hardest difficulty fully completed. But yeah, as I say, it's not really harder. Like, the game is... Since you use a faster car, there's nothing harder about it. It's basically the same as the other ones, but faster. What game? This one, Cruis'n USA. That's the game. Yeah, we got it in 20 minutes. And can you believe it, going from coast to coast in 20 minutes? Well, maybe some planes can do that. So here apparently I unlock a new car. But what's the point of getting a new car if there is not a harder difficulty? Like, it's just gonna make the hardest difficulty even easier. I mean, not like I can complain, but yeah, it seems a little bit weird.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, got the 20 minutes. 20 minutes? And how many seconds? 36. Yeah, that's a nice time, from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. But yeah, that was Cruis'n USA, I guess. I mean, I really want to play the other games. There are, as I mentioned, 2 more Nintendo 64 games that are based on their respective arcade game. Then a Game Boy Advance game, then a Wii game, and then a Nintendo Switch game. Surprisingly, this franchise survived until the Switch era. I don't know how. Like, how a franchise like this survived and not something like Wave Race, for example. Or Diddy Kong Racing even, since we're talking about Nintendo 64 games. Like, it's weird that those didn't survive, but this one did. I mean, I'm not complaining. Well, I guess I'm complaining about the other ones. But yeah, this one surviving, I don't mind. It's a it's a pretty cool game. Like, it basically checks all the check boxes for me. Like, basically simple to play. It's well, it's an arcade racing game, and you have a clear objective. Like, it just checks everything. It's the perfect racing game, basically. But yeah, well, the perfect. I mean that it's just very nice. But yeah, I guess that was it. I guess I could show the car I unlocked. But yeah, just to show.
Choose your car.
It reaches 162 kilometers per hour. That's the difference, and it's basically just the same. But yeah, that was the game. So GG's.